teachers are leaning more towards it. However, I believe that this has many problems, which is why it should not be implemented in school systems. To start off, digital learning doesn't work because it decreases student achievement. There was a study done where students scored lower on computer-based tests because they're not able to, once they hit the next button, they're not able to go back because it's set up that way, so they're not able to review, and if there's a hint later on down in the test, they're not able to go back to change their answer. Digital learning also decreases social skills because they're not the teacher is there, but they're not necessarily having that student-teacher interaction or the student-to-student interaction because they have that digital learning or that digital device, and it's distracting them because it's there and they're just able to get on that, and they're not really listening to their teacher as much because it's there to distract them. They're also unable to finish their homework because some people do not have Wi-Fi at their house. So yeah, they have it here, but once they go home, they're not, if it's something to do with the internet, they're not able to actually do their homework because they don't have access to the internet. In 2018, Matthew Lynch stated, "Technology can be a great equalizer for students while they are in school, as all students have the same access to classroom resources. But what happens when a student goes home?" Like I said, it is really hard for a student to actually get their homework done, and that leads to their homework either being late or them not even doing it at all because they don't have enough time to get it done because there's not enough time at school, or like I said, the Wi-Fi situation at home. As I said earlier, digital learning is a very big distraction because there's games on your phone, on Chromebooks or other digital devices that the student is more likely to be doing and looking at. There's also social media, and even I fall under this. When a student, if you get a notification on your phone, you normally want to look at it, even when a teacher is teaching. And it's very vital that students are not distracted for successful learning. And teachers are not able to monitor well. Yeah, there's Dino, but does it actually benefit the student? Does it actually benefit all of us? Because as I was saying, kids will be distracted, but the Dino situation, once you leave that teacher, it's happened to me and I'm sure it's happened to all of you, once you leave that teacher and go to your next period, sometimes the teacher has you blocked, and if the teacher isn't very well, if he or she doesn't know how to use Dino very well, then the student might have to go back to the previous class and ask them to unblock them, so that takes out of the learning process. By abolishing digital learning, grades would actually increase. As I talked to a bunch of you in my peer interviews, you all said that some of it could be online, but most of it shouldn't, because math and science classes, it's really hard to be able to do those classes online because there's so much mathematical configurations and things like that. So we should use the old way with pencil and paper. So where does this work? It has actually worked in China. They are one of the top 10 scoring countries on tests because they are very cautious about how they, about the amount of time they let their students on digital, with the access to computers and things like that. That study was done by the American Educational Research Association. And as I said, tests online are much harder because you're not able to skip, and when they're on paper, you're able to review the whole thing and see if you did something wrong, and then you can change it. There's also a greater retention rate with handwritten notes because you're writing it and you're thinking it over in your brain as you write it. Couldn't you agree that retaining information is the key to successful education? In conclusion, digital digital learning should not be implemented because it is a distraction and it lowers social skills. As students, we need to step up and talk to our principals, superintendents, and tell them that digital learning is not the right way to go because it only harms our education. Thank you.
Do you personally find yourself benefiting more from online learning or pencil on paper?
Pencil and paper because, like, as I said, retaining information is so much easier when you're like writing it down. Cindy?
If digital learning isn't really helping us, then why are there so many charities like trying to get computers in schools?
Good question. I would say maybe they don't know like the facts behind it. Maybe they just think since we're growing up in the education or the generation that we're in, that digital learning would benefit us, but they like need to educate themselves better to understand that it actually doesn't.
Do you think colleges should switch to what you were saying too, like go to more pencil and paper rather than digital?
Yes, because like, I mean, yeah, when you go off to work, stuff is still online, but like it's not going to be all online, and like we're moving more towards digital learning, which I think we shouldn't be, because when you write it down, it's easier to like carry that piece of paper around and like instead of carrying a Chromebook, because like I said, if you don't have Wi-Fi, then it's not going to work out for you. Megan?
Okay, so do you think as a generation, like students and let alone teachers, we're really reliant on like technology? Do you think that kids and teachers would be able to go a whole day without using any like technology or like computers or phones?
As a generation, no, because like we're always like on it. Like, I don't know, we're just always like using it. Chris?
As like the world and our country advances technologically, don't you think it would be more beneficial than not to have students be learning with like, say, Chromebooks and stuff like that, so they can know what they're doing when they get into the real world?
Yes, but it's also a distraction. So, like, when you're in a classroom and that is right there, you tend to pay more attention to that than the teacher, so you're not really learning as much as you should be. Yeah.
Did you find anything about what percentage of students don't have Wi-Fi at home?
No, I did not.
Do you think that further advances in these technologies could maybe make it better for the future, just like not right now with how many bad things that come from it?
It could possibly, but I'm not sure.
Talk a lot about distractions, and as a teacher there are days that I use Chromebooks and days that I don't, and even in this specific class days you guys have done things on paper and give you work time, but yet I look out and see many of you on your phones and still not doing the pencil and paper assignment. So what's the difference? Like how's it going to fix that issue?
Well, that's the thing, like, we have phone holders. Teachers need to be more strict on those and like tell them that they need to like put them up and like and like stay like on track.
Would you say that it's a real world distraction and we need to get used to having our phones on?
Yeah, that's true. So I guess it really depends on the student. Like, if they really care about their learning, then they're not gonna be distracted by that. So I guess it just depends on like how you look at it.
All right, thank you.